It's a hot and ready thin crust summer at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Another month. What is this? I think this is month 32. 32 of reading YouTube ads. Every month, I try and read one ad that YouTube has played to me organically, so I haven't gone out and looked for these. And you're waiting to watch your YouTube video, and then typically an ad or two is played before that. And if the ad catches my attention, or if I like it, or if I think it's fun, I'll pause it, I'll transcribe it, I'll see if I can find it. And this month, I found a Little Caesars ad, or a Little Caesars ad was played to me. Now, it's been decades since I've had Little Caesars, but I will admit, in my youth, I ate a lot of this stuff. You're a kid, you can get away with eating stuff like this. These days, my taste in pizza is a little more refined, but no judgment. I ate a lot of Little Caesars, and so the voice that is being used in this ad is also not I was going to say normal. It's not a normal voice. It's a character voice. It's fun. He's being playful. It's almost, if you remember J. Peterman from Seinfeld, it was a character played by John O'Hurley, I think was the actor who played J. Peterman. Giacomo Peterman. He has a very kind of staccato way of speaking. Character voice. It's not I was going to say normal. It's not a normal way of speaking. It's fun. And so that's the voice that's kind of going on in this Little Caesars spot. Not exactly J. Peterman, but it's actually faster than that. But so if you look at the script here, let me get my script going. Meet your new, this is a 15, by the way. It goes by quickly, and it's all comedy. It's all funny. Here's the script here. Meet your new summer love, Little Caesars thin crust pizza, with toppings all the way to the edge and a crispy crust. So I gave line breaks for each of these statements that he said. Meet your new summer love, Little Caesars thin crust pizza. Also, little. Every time he says little, there's a little sparkly enunciation on the T's. Little Caesars. He's not throwing it away. He's being a little bit more proper with the way he says little. He's not saying little. He's saying little. Little Caesars thin crust pizza. Again, it's a character. So you can almost imagine an animation that goes with this voice. Little Caesars thin crust pizza. And then it says with toppings. Hold on a second. Let me change my fan for a second. I want to... Good. With toppings all the way to the edge and a crispy crust. So he said all of that line together. With toppings all the way to the edge and a crispy crust. Then there's 5 seconds of sound on tape. There's a different scene that goes on here. So it opens with the scene of the product, the pizza itself, and it's looking delicious, and it's being cut with one of those roller pizza cutters. Your new summer love. But then for this 5 seconds sound on tape, we cut to the scene of there's 2 actors on screen, and there's something else going on. I don't want to do a rug pull just yet or give it away. Comedy. Okay, something happens on screen, and then you come in. Ouch, Billy. Ooh, oh, ow, ooh, cringe. And then he says, it's a hot and ready thin crust summer at Little Caesars. Little Caesars. Crust. He didn't say thin crust summer. He said thin crust summer. And so I actually misspelled it. I C-R-U-S-S to remind myself that I'm going to try and say it the way he said it. So he didn't go, it's a hot and ready thin crust summer at Little Caesars. He said, it's a hot and ready thin crust summer at Little Caesars. Little Caesars. That's the way he said it. So the word crust, on the second line, Little Caesars thin crust pizza. He hit the T there. Little Caesars thin crust pizza. He hit that T, but at the bottom he didn't. It's a hot and ready thin crust summer at Little Caesars. And then you got to get out because the logo comes in, the stinger. A sting is something that happens at the end of the spot that you got to get out before that happens. Pizza is what goes on there. So again, it's a 15. Go from the top. Meet your new summer love. Little Caesars thin crust pizza with toppings all the way to the edge and a crispy. That line was delivered really fast. With toppings all the way to the edge and a crispy crust. And then 5 seconds, 5 Mississippi goes by. Got to count that. Get my timing as close as possible. Ouch, Billy. Something happened on screen, which you're about to see. It's a hot and ready thin crust summer at Little Caesars. Pizza. Okay. One more time. Let's just read this. Meet your new summer love. You know what? I'm going to get my timer up here. I haven't done this in a while. Stopwatch timer. Let me get my timer happening. Oops. Yeah, that's good enough. I'll leave that there. Let's see if I can get close to 15, knowing that there's 5 seconds of SOT in the middle. Here we go. Meet your new summer love, Little Caesars Thin Crust Pizza, with toppings all the way to the edge and a crispy crust. Ouch, Billy. It's a hot and ready thin crust summer at Little Caesars. Pizza, pizza. Yeah, that timing looks good. Can I do it again? Here, let's go to this camera. Put that back up here. Reset. Meet your new summer love, Little Caesars Thin Crust Pizza, with toppings all the way to the edge and a crispy crust. Ouch, Billy. It's a hot and ready thin crust summer at Little Caesars. Pizza beans. Good. Okay, that was even... Actually, I stopped it kind of late. Also, there's 80s music going on in the background. It's not an actual song. I think it's kind of like a sound-alike thing. Let me get my timer out of there. Sound-alike thing going on in there. It kind of feels like Night Ranger. Sister Christian, that kind of thing going on. But the two... Well, I'm not going to give away too much. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do it for real. Here we go. 15 seconds. It begins. You jump in. Thin crust pizza, 5 seconds SOT. That's the trickiest part, this 5 seconds in the middle. I want to try and get my timing ready. I got to remember that hot and ready thin crust summer at Little Caesars. Hit the T's. Little Caesars. And again, it's not a normal, natural voice. It is a character. So we're allowed to play. Yeah, remind me to go back to that at the end here. Here we go. See you in 5 seconds. Meet your new summer love, Little Caesars. Let's do it again. I messed up the T. I want more T. Little Caesars. Little Caesars. Eyes. Little. Meet your new summer love, Little Caesars Thin Crust Pizza, with toppings all the way to the edge and a crispy crust. The word "and" I messed up. All the way to the edge and a crispy crust. I want... Even though I'm speaking very quickly with affect, so not my normal voice, affect, I still want to retain clarity, articulation. I imagine that this voice, proper, shirt buttoned up to the top, with a monocle. That's who this person is. Very. The word is erudite. Very. Look at me using a big word. That's this. That's the feeling here. Meet your new summer love. So very proper, very educated, very fast speaking too. All the way to the edge and a crispy crust. All right. So this also shows I don't typically get it right the first time I do this. I have to kind of work at it a little bit to get to a point where, okay, yeah, that feels good. All right, maybe I try it again. Here we go. Meet your new summer love, Little Caesars Thin Crust Pizza, with toppings all the way to the edge and a crispy crust.
I love you, Cindy.
Sorry, but that commercial voice guy was right. I only love thin crust.
Ouch, Billy. It's a hot and ready thin crust summer at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
Okay. Good. I feel good about that. Oh, where is it? I feel good. I'm using a different mug today. I feel good about that. Get over there. Okay, I talked about the spirit of play. I feel that when we're younger, we of course we played a lot when we were younger. We had less responsibilities. So life was play. Goofing around. No rules. Play. Having fun. I feel that as we get older, we have more responsibilities. We have a mortgage. We have payments. We have guitars to pay for. We have kids. Some of us have kids. And so play becomes less of a priority. But if you are a creative person, it all comes from the same place, the spirit of play, the spirit of making something. And I encourage all my students and colleagues in my VO workshop to try and stay connected to that spirit of play, spirit of fun and goofing around. And it's good to balance. Life can be so serious sometimes, but there's a lot of humor. If you look, you'll see that there's a lot of humor in life. And so one of the reasons why I wanted to do this specific spot is because it is silly. It is fun to do a voice that is not your normal voice sometimes. And yeah, just for the heck of it, why not? My mom was very fun. I remember one Halloween season, she'd pick us up from grade school. And maybe I was in 4th grade, 5th grade. I don't remember. But she picked us up in the car, and she was in a Halloween costume. And it was so embarrassing. She wore a Charlie Chaplin Charlie Chaplin. She had like the fake mustache and a hat. And it was so embarrassing. And even though none of the other kids saw, and she didn't get out of the vehicle, she didn't get out of the car, but I was so embarrassed. But I think about that now. And maybe my mom maybe she was in her 30s when she did that. She was silly. And I like that. She liked to goof around. She's always laughing. She liked to smile. My mom also, I don't mean to talk about my mom, but whenever I had to wake up my mom for a reason, if I was a kid, like, oh, have you seen my toy? Whenever I woke her up, she was never in a bad mood. And we got Father's Day coming up, and I'm talking about my mom. I don't know why I'm doing that. But so my point is playfulness, positive energy. There's a lot of humor, and try and stay connected to that playfulness. And even if it's a spot that requires a voice that is not your normal voice, that's okay. Try something new and be silly and play because it's enjoyable. It's fun. Yeah. Okay, that's a lot of me. Thanks for hanging with me. Speak soon.